The Minister in charge of the Earthquake Commission has called for immediate changes to the organisation in response to a damning report. The report says EQC staff have no confidence in their own data. The organisation needs to treat its customers with respect and honesty and needs to dramatically improve the way it communicates with them. The Minister, Megan Woods, says the report shows systemic problems and she now expects to see a major culture change. But where was EQC's CEO, Sid Miller? Rachel Graham has more.
The report makes a number of recommendations which EQC has agreed to address immediately. These include hiring more staff, establishing a claimant reference group, and making files available to homeowners on request, instead of forcing them to use the Official Information Act. Megan Woods says she expects to see claimants treated better by EQC staff.
The fact that there's a recommendation that there needs to be a change, that people are treated with empathy, that there is a transparency and that they have a clear indication of what's going to happen with their claim, indicates that that hasn't always been the case. It is the clear expectation contained within the recommendations that there has to be a leadership and culture change within the organisation to ensure that people are treated in that way.
Another change is to create a data quality group within EQC to locate the physical files, sort them, check them and capture all the key data. In May, EQC admitted that it had missed 1,000 of its open claims, and in fact the figure was around 3,600 cases still to work through. The report was put together by independent ministerial advisor Christine Stevenson, who says she has considerable concern about the lack of confidence in the EQC data, including from its own staff. She says this included their inability to provide her with reliable data.
I was disappointed because I was really keen to have a good segmentation of claims. I think if EQC can segment its claims and know what claims it has, it's going to be better able to deal with them. Since I completed my report, you may be aware that another roughly 1,000 claims have come to EQC's attention, and very disappointing.
Megan Woods says there are also a number of recommendations or issues which will need more work and analysis before she can make a decision on them. These include a suggestion to give EQC a new power to settle what are described as on-sold claims, homes which were purchased under the impression all repairs had been identified and completed. Christchurch homeowner Georgina Hannafin bought her Linwood home in 2013 under the assumption all earthquake repairs had been made. But the house was destabilised, with cracks and visible damage only patched up. She says the report and its recommendations aren't likely to fix the bigger problems at EQC.
The root of the problem at EQC is they seem to have a strategy of deny, delay, defer. Communication is absolutely lacklustre. You can send an email requesting information or even requesting confirmation of something you've discussed on the phone and you won't hear back at all. Constantly chasing them for responses or replies. There's no integrity.
Insurance advocate Ali Jones, whose home is another of the on-sold properties, says the report is progress, but she says to solve all of the problems at EQC, the organisation needs to be taken apart and then put back together.
I think what we're trying to do, and this report probably highlights it, is that we are trying to save a lame duck. The entire system needs deconstructing and reconstructing. Now, whether you do that bit by bit, whether you don't do that because that would just be a disaster, I don't know, but it is clear that there are systemic flaws in the process and procedures that need to change.
Megan Woods says some of the issues which require a policy change will go to Cabinet for a decision by the end of July. She also expects some of the issues raised will be looked into further as part of the inquiry into the EQC Act, which is currently underway. The CEO of EQC, Sid Miller, was unavailable for comment today. In Christchurch for Checkpoint, Rachel Graham.